and congratulate them personally. And now I'm pleased to introduce Alex Lebois, founder and executive director of G3 ICT, with a very special presentation from M-Enabling. Axel.
Thanks so much, Patrick. Tonight we are very honored to introduce for the first time the M-Enabling Lifetime Advocacy Award, which is going to someone who has, as a community leader, had the most impact on how ICT accessibility has been progressing over the past few years. And tonight, I would like to call on the stage Claude Stout, who is our honoree this year. Claude, if you would like to come and join me on the stage. Claude's ability to build consensus, his tenacity to meet his advocacy objectives, and passion for innovation have had tremendous impact over the past few years on how ICT accessibility has evolved. So I'm very, very honored tonight to welcome Claude on the podium. Claude is the Executive Director of Telecommunications for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, TDI. And as you all know, TDI is a national non-profit consumer advocacy organization that promotes equal access to telecommunications, media, and information technology for the nation's 48 million citizens that are deaf, late deaf, hard of hearing, and deafblind. And in his position, he served during 18 years as the chair of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Consumer Advocacy Network, a national coalition of 12 consumer professional organizations that represent deaf and hard of hearing citizens in public policy and legislative issues. He is a member of the Federal Commission's Commission Disability Advisory Committee, and I know from our own kind of witnessing what was going on, for instance, during the 21st Century Communication Video Accessibility Act rulemaking, how much Claude has dedicated effort to advise, push, network, build consensus. And for that, Claude, we are super happy to present you this award for lifetime advocacy achievement. Here, please. Now I would like Claude to share with us some of his learning during his long life of advocate for the deaf and hard of hearing community. Claude, the floor is yours.
I think because of the lighting, I'm going to move farther down on the stage because I will be using American Sign Language. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Axel asked me to make a few remarks, up to 7 minutes, so I'll try to keep it brief. You know, 40 years and 7 minutes can be a little daunting, a little challenging, but I would like to thank Axel and his team at G3 ICT for presenting me with this award. It is an award that really belongs to all of you as well. In my 40 years of work at the national level, working with consumer and advocacy groups, I am very proud to say that I've worked with all of you, with consumer groups, with government, with industry, and I've witnessed so many changes from the 1960s to today. Wow. We have come a long way together. But what I have to say is we, like all of you, like all the consumer groups, of course we've gotten support from academia, from industry, from government, and I would like to recognize these three groups, the consumer groups, with support from academia. Wow. TDI has gotten so much support. And so often, when we led, we would come up with a draft that maybe had a good design. We would work with the consumers and we would work with academia, and we would exchange thoughts. And so maybe a good draft became one that became filed and improved, became better. So there were some of the issues that, all of us have engaged on. A lot of national organizations, we've gotten support from in academia, so that when we presented some of these drafts and these filings to the FCC, believe it or not, we filed 1,200 filings with the FCC in the last 23 years. And because of that work, we and all of our sister and brother consumer groups have been able to guide the work of the FCC further, so that we, consumer groups, we have been able to come to consensus to present ideas as a set of expectations and needs of the community, so that when the FCC accepts our recommendations, they're not getting just 10 to 15 filings. No, we are filing on one topic from a group of people, and it makes their job so much easier. Now, when we make a filing, when we do all these multiple filings, business and industry and all the other entities out there keep an eye out for the progress. They want to see what consumer groups are saying and how they're reacting, and they want to be able to address the needs that the consumers are identifying. So we are not just advising the FCC and having an impact on the FCC, telling them what we would like them to make decisions on for us. It's like video relay services or communication or access to communication, or captioning, quality captioning, or internet captioning, or advanced communication service. These are just a few of the ideas, the issues that have come to fore. But we want to be able to benefit all of those, industry, government alike. And we have to thank the FCC for being a model at the national level, for encouraging the community to make progress in access for people with disabilities. And so thank you, Commissioner Pai. And thank you to all the consumer groups who are out there for your value, for the collaboration, and for the businesses and the business community. So many years ago, products and services were not accessible to users for many people with disabilities. So we have a great deal of thanks to give to the manufacturers for making their products accessible. And so it is this kind of progress, that we are testing. You are conducting tests, you're establishing advisory boards, you're conducting focus groups, you're looking at product development, all of these advances. So business community, you're keeping us in mind. Yeah? You're keeping us busy as well, so thank you. Thank you so much. Something else I'd like to say. Wow. Hold on a second, I have to refer to my notes. You have to forgive me because I'm well into my 70s. So I have to be careful not to mention companies that I've worked with. I have to be very careful not to mention certain government entities. I've been talking about the FCC, but because I don't want to slight anyone or any entity or any group. But there are 3 individuals I really have to recognize at TDI, our support system at TDI. I would like to recognize Jarvis Grindstaff, who is a member of the TDI Advisory Board of Directors rather. There are 7 members. And if not for them, I would not be here. So Jarvis, where are you? Jarvis, please stand and be recognized. Jarvis, thank you. Warren Buffett once said that if you're a director, what you need to do is convene a staff or a team of people who are better than you. So I, as a director, agree with Warren in his statement. And so I would like to introduce you to Eric Kaika, who's a director of public relations, who represents the TDI staff, and I would like to thank him for all of the work that he's done for us every day. And Eric, where are you? Eric, please stand and be recognized. Last, but definitely not least, I would like to recognize my wife, Judy. Judy, I love you. You know, you've helped us advance the technology to make it more usable. But you know what? It's not just technology that makes life accessible. We've done so much, but there's more to go. So there are 3 issues that I would like everyone to focus on as we move forward. The first issue is to go back to your local communities. And if you see or hear about parents of children with disabilities, and if they need help, if they need information, go and be a resource to them. Go and support them. Because parents of children with disabilities don't realize the resources and the services that are out there that can help them make the right decisions, that can help them make informed decisions for their children as they age. The school systems, the services that are in place, they may not be aware of it. So it's up to you to keep an eye out for that. My parents were great supporters. They were great advocates for me. And I would not be standing here in front of you if it were not for them. You know, the technology develops quickly. And so in years past, you know, we've seen technology come, changed, advanced, and so we are so far along. The apps that are developed every day. And I want to make sure that when you go back to your local communities, that you look at the educational system from the kindergarten level to the middle school to the high school to the college and university, at all levels of education, even the community college system, to make sure that they are prepared, that the curriculum, that the instruction, and the methodology is such that it can fit the needs of our students with disabilities, so that students can have a full interactive experience in the classroom, that they can be fully prepared for the world as they go out in the world. You know, one of the things that scares me, I have to admit, is that, and you should be scared as well, for all intents and purposes, there are challenges, and these challenges are such that we need to make sure that our students with disabilities can compete for jobs, that they can go into employment opportunities, that they can reach their full potential, that they can go into areas of management. And I would like to encourage all of you, students, government, industry, and all these areas, to make sure that you look at a fair cost-benefit analysis. So it's one thing to be accessible to people with disabilities, yes. And if you look at the cost-benefit, you're going to see so much benefit to the cost invested. So I would say please, and I repeat please, do not look at the cost issue. When you do the cost-benefit analysis, make sure that you're doing a good cost-benefit analysis, and look at the benefits, because we can reinvent the world. We can reinvent a village to raise children with disability. So I would encourage all of you to keep in mind that we together, working together, when we go back to our local communities, can do this. You have been great, and you will continue to do great things. So thank you so much for this award, and thank you, Axel.